This is Godokan Odan for VF Warlord. All about Twin Peaks. I held off doing any reactions to Twin Peaks up to this point. I was just enjoying the ride, you know? A lot of people were pissed off that Dale Cooper didn't become Dale Cooper and snap out of that Dougie Jones persona for so long. But I was just enjoying the ride. And I figured this was a method to David Lynch's madness. To me, it looked like maybe he is a fan of silent pictures, and he was just having Kyle MacLachlan act as a silent actor during that whole Dale Cooper, Dougie Jones situation. So I was just enjoying the ride, enjoying the comedic value it had. It was a comedic anyway the whole time he was doing it. And not only that, you know, I don't know. Dale Cooper was a cool character, I guess, but you know, a lot of the time during Twin Peaks season 1 and 2, Dale Cooper is kind of just stuffed shirt. Basically, he's kind of a square. He never talk like a normal person. Even when he asks a girl out on a date, he's like, "I would invite you to a nature outing." When he's acting out Heather Graham's character, Annie. So I'm like, he's kind of a square anyway. Do you really need him back? But he's a main character, I guess. So yes, but it's like, I don't know, man. He had somewhat of a personality with the meditation and everything he's into, and Tibetan meditation. But that's all David Lynch. This is David Lynch projecting himself into the Dale Cooper character, because that's what David Lynch is into. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I enjoyed the show for what it was, and you get the overall feel of the show, even in the episodes when Dale Cooper isn't himself and he's just Dougie Jones. You still get the overall feel of the show watching the episodes. So I was not really bitching about it. However, this week, Dale Cooper makes his triumphant return, which is cool. Now I'll start with checking out the whole part with his counterpart, his doppelganger, Evil Coop, when he meets up with Richard. Now, watching that, I was like, people were saying, "Oh well, he's just gonna spare Richard because Richard's his son." I'm like, man, you know what? This guy is completely evil. He doesn't give a fuck. And even if that is his son, he's going to the Black Lodge or the White Lodge or whatever. So most likely, he's gonna use his son for a blood sacrifice in some way, shape, or form. So I was not surprised this episode where he makes basically Richard step on a landmine, a spirit landmine, I guess, that totally electrocuted him into atoms. Not surprised. And I thought Jerry was about to get killed because he almost stumbled upon them. And it was comedic, it's hilarious. He couldn't even look through the binoculars properly to even see who it was, and he totally missed the whole situation. So he dodged a bullet. And the next scene was hilarious with Hutch and Chantel. It looked like Hutch and Chantel were about either kill the Mitchum brothers or kill the FBI to get to Dale Cooper. Next thing you know, a security guard runs into them. They get into it, and Hutch and Chantel get clapped. Dude had like a mini Glock 18 on him and sprayed both of those guys. And Hutch tried to get a shot off with the shotty, but to no avail. So, Tim Roth and Jennifer Jason Leigh's characters both get wasted. So that was hilarious. So, oh shit, that takes care of that situation. And the next part is Dale actually wakes up. Like, oh yeah, I didn't think he was gonna wake up. Next thing they showed him he's in a coma. Like, all right, he's gonna be in coma all episode, dude. And he's only gonna be Dale in the last 2 episodes next week. So anyway, miraculously he woke up. And he took care of the situation of him leaving Janie E. They'll be abandoned. So he took off a piece of his hair. So obviously he wants Mike, the one-armed man, to make a copy of himself, to make another Dougie and send it to Janie E. and Sonny Jim. So that's cool. That's hilarious, man. It was a great episode so far, man. I have not been disappointed. And everybody like getting over anxious to see Dale come back. I was not even stressing it because there's a plan of everything. And, it was obvious if Dale came back as himself immediately, he would immediately go after Evil Coop. And if he wipes out Evil Coop, there's no threat to the whole show. So Evil Coop has to survive, the majority of the show, which means Dougie Jones. Dale Cooper has to be Dougie Jones for a while to keep Evil Coop on the map. Because if he comes out of the coma, he's aware of Evil Coop, because he's chasing Evil Coop in the red room in the Black Lodge. So obviously, as soon as he got out, he would go after that dude and find him. So everything played out the way it's supposed to play out. So anyway, I was entertained. And the whole part with Sheryl and Finn's character, Audrey, that was cool. And people were right. I didn't believe that she's actually in a coma. She's not. She may be in a coma, but I don't think she's in a coma. I think she might be in a mental institution and she's having hallucinations. It turns out whatever her situation is with the dude, with her husband, was not even real. I just assumed it was real because David and Lynch tries to do the most unexpected things possible. So I would assume, yeah, maybe she is married to a dwarf, and her situation is really screwed up. And the fact that she's going off on him all the time, well, sometimes some women do go off. And if you ever looked at Sheriff Frank Truman, his wife goes off on him all the time. Maybe she's acting the exact same way. Anyway, yeah, so it turned out, yeah, that was a total misdirect. And yeah, she actually is in a mental institution. The dead giveaway was when she started doing Audrey's dance. That's the dance she used to do in her father's office when he's not around, blasting the jazz music and doing that little dance all the way from episode 3 or episode 4 of Twin Peaks season 1. So that was a like fan service, and that was a throwback to like episode 3 or episode 4. So that was cool. Anyway, and when she was doing that dance, it seemed like she was younger again. She just seemed like her old self, even like the years kind of faded away, and she's still the same girl. If you look from a distance, she actually looked like her old self, her younger self. So that was cool, a throwback to that time. So it's like, oh well, maybe it's just fan service, and they're just doing that just to do it. But it actually turned out to be, yeah, that's just a hallucination, and she's just dreaming. Because every girl in their mind, they're the center of the universe, and she's like the center of attention in the Roadhouse. So that turned out to be fake. Anyway, 10 out of 10 episode. I like the musical appearance. That was actually good. So I actually clapped after the musical appearance. It was so good. That whole episode was absolute 10 out of 10. If you could give it a 15 out of 10, actually, I would give it a 15 out of 10. Not that I'm reviewing it, because I'm not a film student or film buff. I didn't go to film school, so I'm not going to presume the reviewed episode. That's just my reaction to the episode. Anyway, Godoku out.